Hello, welcome to our channel. Today we are going to talk about a well-known model in knowledge management, which is the SECI model. So organizations operate in learning loops, thus creating a large pool of knowledge over a period of time. This demands a robust knowledge management system so that one can minimize the risk of knowledge loss. And there is a challenge to organize this knowledge in the right way so that it is accessible to the right people at the right time. Now, therefore, it is important to document the knowledge well so that it is available to the wider organization. So, every member in the team who's implementing a program can be seen as a creator or an employer of knowledge who is continuously creating and utilizing the knowledge that they are gaining through their experience in different aspects of the program. So, in this video, we would be referring him or her as an employer of knowledge. Now, there are two kinds of knowledge which generally exists. One is the tacit knowledge and one is the explicit knowledge. So what is explicit knowledge? Explicit knowledge is basically the one which is more codified, defined, digitized in the form of documents or manuals or process documents. So the explicit knowledge can be easily stored, identified, utilized, and reviewed and even updated from time to time. So this is very easy to handle. Okay. Now there is this other knowledge, which is the tacit knowledge. Tacit knowledge is very context dependent and it is very personal in nature. So it is basically generated through experience and it is basically in the minds of the employers or the people who are actually handling the situation day in, day out. And it is the knowledge that they have created through practicing. Tacit knowledge is very experience based and it is a little difficult to define and communicate with other employers. So with this context, we will start with the SECI model. So now that we have an understanding of what is tacit and explicit knowledge, let's look at this 2x2 quadrant. So in the first and the second quadrant, you have tacit knowledge, and in the third and the fourth quadrant, we have explicit knowledge. Now, SECI model is basically a model which talks about how knowledge could be converted from one type of knowledge to the other type of knowledge. Let's talk about the conversion of tacit to tacit knowledge and how does this happen. Tacit to tacit knowledge conversion happens through socialization. What is socialization? So socialization means that it is when the employers are co-working together, the knowledge that is in the mind of one employer is getting transferred to the mind of the other employer or any person per se. So that can happen through brainstorming sessions, through mentoring sessions, through observations, like, when one employer is observing the other employer, how the person is actually resolving issues, what all they have already experienced. And so they in the process is gaining something out of it. So that is a knowledge conversion that is happening through socialization. So that is like tacit to tacit. The second is when we are converting tacit knowledge to explicit knowledge. Now, this happens through externalization. What do we mean by that? Externalization happens when the knowledge that one employer has in mind puts down in paper and starts documenting it, like, a process document, a manual, so that, one on or a record keeping it in a database. So things which are there explicitly on pen and paper, which can be actually referred to easily. So that is like when you are converting a tacit knowledge to explicit knowledge, and that is happening through externalization. So the third is to convert explicit knowledge to explicit knowledge. So this takes place through combination. The combination is basically through combining different explicit documents which are already there into a new document that can help which can be like a new knowledge products. For example, you may have different process documents of different aspects of a program, but then you are combining everything to produce a bigger report which can have like all the documents together. Or even if you can imagine a paper, a publication which uses different documents of the project, different aspects of the program into one publication, that is like a new knowledge product, a new knowledge altogether. So that is like explicit to explicit. And the last one is explicit to tacit. Explicit to tacit knowledge conversion happens through internalization. This is when the person when the person starts utilizing and using these explicit knowledge, and in the process is also gaining a lot of experience, generating a lot of learnings, such that it is actually the knowledge is internalized as well as it is modified as and when time is progressing. So it is converting into another tacit knowledge. So this is when we talk about internalization. So now that we have talked about the different forms of knowledge conversion, one is socialization, externalization, combination, and internalization. So the whole thing is not a very static form of knowledge conversion. Rather, it is a continuous process, it's dynamic, and it is often overlapping. So this model is presented with this spiral thing in between, which implies that there is a swirl of knowledge which is being created, converted in an organization through different forms, through different ways, and it is a continuous thing that is happening. So yeah, so this is the SECI model for knowledge creation and conversion. So now that we have discussed and talked about the SECI model, it is important for organizations to create ample opportunities and avenues for socialization and internalizations while creating comprehensive documentations through externalization and combination. Hope you have liked the video. Thank you.